Alrighty, so we're back on the Fashion Hive podcast. We're on this blitz right now of filming a
Yes.
lot of content, so you guys are probably hearing some background noise. Obviously, that's going to die down
Yeah.
as we get away from Kansas City Fashion Week and back into our space at Oak Park Mall or wherever we wind up. We're going to be traveling a lot as
Yeah.
well. But with that being said, as part of our blitz, we have a wonderful, wonderful volunteer who's been helping for several seasons now, Kelsey Chop. And with that, I'll just say let's jump right into it. I know Callie has some questions and Shaley has some questions, and we're super excited to have you on the Fashion Hive podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a huge supporter, one, of Kansas City Fashion Week, and two, of the podcast. I know you and I, Kelsey, have talked about this quite extensively with the development and the rollout of this. So huge shout out to her for all of the advice that you provided. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be on the podcast.
Yeah. So let's just start a little bit about, if you want to tell our audience like a little bit about yourself and kind of like what made you want to volunteer, why you want to come back to KC in Fashion Week.
Yeah, so I actually just graduated in December with my degree in fashion, minor in marketing. I found myself getting more involved within like the Kansas City fashion community just because it feels right to me. I was here in the fall and I had so much fun, so I was like, I need to come back again.
Yeah.
I want to try and get more involved in kind of like what I'm doing, like social media, like marketing is something I would love to get more involved in. Just anywhere that needs help also. I just want to see it all, do it all.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome.
What has been your favorite experience as a volunteer so far at Fashion
Mhm.
Week?
That's hard just to pick one. Attending all like the events. I was here for the weekend events for the Bubbly and Bow Ties.
The lunch part. Mhm.
Yeah, and then like the gallery. Just seeing the shows is always so much fun. Getting to sit front row if I need to be a seat filler. Yeah, that's always a fun bonus to volunteering.
Yeah,
No, for sure.
absolutely.
So I know you were super excited for this season, so much so that you wound up taking the entire week off, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, that is right.
Yeah. So
Kudos to you.
yes,
That's
yeah.
a
I mean,
good
like
job.
Kelsey's done more than me. Like I didn't even take off Monday and Tuesday. She
No,
did.
I didn't even take off Sunday. I work Sunday.
But yeah, I mean, like I said in the intro, I mean, you really are a great ambassador. You are
Thank
what
you.
we hope ambassadors to be. And it sounds like you've also taken away what we want ambassadors to take away: the connections, the feeling of community, the sense of belonging. But, you know, specifically for you, I think there's a little bit more that you want to dive into, maybe both in the fashion world, but also with Kansas City Fashion Week. Do you want to explain a little bit about like what you're looking to do just in general moving forward?
Yeah, again, like I love to like create content. That's kind of my favorite thing to do. Like at my school for their fashion's Instagram, like I would create content for them, which I had a great time doing. I was on like fashion council for them. And then people keep telling me to like try out for modeling. I think that seems
Ditto.
like
I'm like, that's never something I thought of though. So I was like, I never
Same.
put it in my head.
that's nothing I had
No.
experience in,
Yeah.
but it looks so much fun. Like
Mhm.
getting to see those outfits and people walking on like stage in them. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to do that. That looks like a good
Right?
time.
And when we were talking about bubbly bow ties, we were talking about this. We're like, we love the outfits, we love like the environment. It seems so fun, but we were like, that's not something we ever thought, because we're both going to school for fashion,
Yes.
and that's not really something we ever considered even.
No, not at all. Not
mean,
until people like started telling
no.
me, like I would have to take like
Yeah.
a class like how to walk on stage because I just don't know any of that. But I've
Mhm.
heard it's like you can be taught how to do it.
Exactly.
For
But that's
sure.
why you're such a good ambassador and volunteer for us, because you are invested in the industry. You like it, you know it, you're open to like doing more things, and that's what we hope to come out of ambassadors. Like when we invite you guys to the show and help you guys help out, that's what we're looking for, is people like you who love it and want to do more and want to help us out wherever you can.
Yeah,
So
and
that's amazing that you love coming back to it. And
yeah, you guys on the team are great because you guys are like empowering those people to like kind of build themselves up and experience those things that they wouldn't normally do, which is
No.
super cool.
yeah, no, I love that.
Throughout college, what would be one of like your favorite things that you got to do that kind of helped prepare you for working in fashion? Any like special experiences or opportunities?
So I did get to go to Magic for the trade show in Las Vegas. So just seeing that, how buyers kind of like get to pick out clothes they want to sell, or just seeing how that goes down. That was a super unique experience.
That's cool. So when it comes to being a buyer, what are some of the things that you personally would look for in that role? Like, what are some of the things that you look for?
So some of the things I learned, and just seeing what trends are, like Women's Wear Daily is like a big place people go to see like what trends are, and just kind of being at market and just walking into each little like station and seeing all the different styles and just kind of what fits you, I guess, is pretty much what like the buyers do.
Cool.
And is that something you see yourself doing, like going
Yeah.
to again, or was that like I learned from it, and unless I'm like in a position of buying, I really wouldn't go back, or is that something that you're like, I'm gonna do that again?
I wouldn't say that I'm a buyer, but I did have to like take a class about buying and learn all of that, which is I enjoyed that, but not something I think I'd personally get into.
Are you still kind of like exploring like your role in your fashion career, or are you kind of set like, I know I want to do social media, I kind of want to do that for like life?
Yeah, I'm pretty set on that. Like I did do
Yeah.
like a digital marketing internship for Dimdeco, and I had a really good experience there, and I got to create content for them as well. So it's definitely the path I want to stay on.
Yeah, we'll love that for you.
Yeah.
So you earlier, not to backtrack too far, but you had said that a lot of people have said like, hey, have you thought about modeling? Is that
Mhm.
something that you're thinking about for the fall slash winter season, or is that something that is going to be a little bit farther down the pipeline, or you're really not even thinking about it at all?
It's hard telling. It is something I'm considering. Like I had a friend come volunteer last night, and she said that she really wanted to try out for modeling. So we talked about maybe like going together and trying out.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
always
go.
more fun to do it with a friend.
Yeah.
I've brought friends along to quite a few auditions over the years,
Yeah.
and just like having their support, even if they're not auditioning with me, it's nice so that you don't have to go alone. But there's always lots of people you can meet, even if you do.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah.
And the friend that you're speaking about, like you've made connections. I feel like I've seen you make connections every season.
Oh yeah.
So like, can you speak to maybe not necessarily the personal level, but speak to the fact, like how, like, do you still communicate with those people after the season?
Yeah, like I have stayed in touch with some people, and there were some familiar faces I had met in the past that were also at this show. So that was nice being able to like see them again. I've met so many people this time around. There's a ton of new volunteers, a lot of first timers.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was
You're
cool
a
getting to know them.
That's what I love about the shows, though, because I was like, when we met, I guess you could say, at the Bubbly and Bow Ties, we both stopped for a second because we're like, you look so familiar.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't feel like I've ever actually met you.
Yeah, we definitely like cross paths,
Yeah.
but never like a formal like
No.
introduction.
But see, that's what I love about like events like this. Is there's like a time where we all come back together
Yeah.
for like a week, and it's like people you haven't seen in a while, people you see like only in passing. Like it's fun now. Like now I see you all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I love it. It's a good program and a good like show to be a part of.
It is great energy here.
Good vibes all around.
I remember like in my years as a volunteer, which was, not that long ago, but I would think it's so cool. Like some of the people that I met through volunteering are now designers and showing collections. Like several people that I volunteered with just like a year or two ago are now designers, and like it's just so cool to see everybody grow in this industry. Like you yourself like have the opportunity to just do whatever you want, but like you can also like see everybody else like excel in their paths, and it's just so cool to see everybody do what they want to do.
Yeah, for sure. Like everybody wants to do something so different. Like the volunteers I've been hanging out with, like one is a designer, one's a model, one's like a photographer. It's all different, which is I really like, so I can learn a little bit more about all those things I'm not necessarily educated about.
Speaking of like learning things, what has surprised you the most that you've learned about being behind the scenes?
That's a good question.
She's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything that like you thought it would be one way but it turned out to be different?
You know, I usually just volunteer at night, and I've been coming during the days. So seeing what else goes into the production. You guys are here for like 15 plus hours every day, which is
It's a lot.
insane. I'm here like doing like 11. Like I'm tired after that.
Yeah.
So the way that you guys keep up, that was like something new that I learned. Like I did not know that much
She's
time
like,
went
wait,
into
how long
it.
have they been here? They've been walking around.
Yeah, like do you guys sleep here?
Lots of caffeine.
Yes.
You're like, so where are you keeping your sleeping bags?
Yeah. She's like, is Parisi sponsoring you with this box?
Oh goodness. So with your like you said, you normally volunteer nights. You've expanded into now days. What would you say for individuals that are looking at participating as an ambassador for Kansas City Fashion Week? Like, where should they jump in? Is it based off their time commitment, based off of what they're looking to do? Like you said, you have a friend that you met that's looking to model, that's looking to be a photographer, that's looking to be a designer. Where would you recommend they jump in, especially now that you have several seasons underneath your belt?
I would say volunteer as much as you can, as much as like your schedule or availability will allow you to. There is a lot of downtime during the day, but with that downtime, you're able to like network and make those connections, which I think is one of the best parts and a ways like you can expand and get more involved, find more opportunities. So even though you're not necessarily doing something, you are making those connections, and that's like very valuable.
Yeah, even like sometimes whenever I'm around a group of people and I don't know anybody, like I can be kind of quiet and shy at first, but I have made some of like the closest friends by just saying, "Hey, does anybody want to go take pictures on the red carpet?" And then a
Yeah.
group of volunteers will like all come along and like we'll start taking each other's pictures, and then you have 10 new best friends.
Yes, exactly. And every single day there's new faces that's going to like come in. So the more you're here, the more people you're going to meet.
Yeah. And it is fun that you really can just talk to anyone because they're all kind of here for the same reason in a way. So it's kind of fun you can walk up to anyone and be like, hey, like, what are you here for? And like you said, you can just learn a bunch of new things that you probably
Yes.
wouldn't already know.
Yes, that is so true. Like, come alone. You're going to meet
Literally,
other people
yeah.
that come alone also. And that way you'll get to know other people. Just be like, what are you here for? What do you do? And then you'll find something in common.
That's honestly probably one of the best pieces of advice. It's like you don't need to come knowing someone already. Because literally the second you even walk in, you'll probably talk to a few people.
Oh, yeah.
And like all of us, I know all of us on staff, none of us would have known each other if we didn't have like come together. And now we're all like best friends. We'll hang out during the year. It's like a really fun time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, I get it. It can be intimidating. It is a big show. It is a big production. A lot of people are here. But it's like, you really can just come alone, meet people, and you're set for life.
Yes, and even like people on staff, you guys are still getting to know like the volunteers as well, and that's really cool. It's like it's not one-sided. Like we get to know you guys, and you get to know us.
No, I
It
love
definitely is mutualistic. I mean, I think that's something that I'll be the first to say it. The volunteers that we had last season were great. I made a lot of good friends from that group, and Kelsey is a friend of mine who we've been. We talk throughout the year, like Callie was saying. So it is definitely, and Kelsey, like I said, is an excellent example where she'll reach out, not even during Fashion Week, like during prime time for Fashion Week, and she's like, hey, is there anything I can do? Like, and then it's the same other thing, like, I think that it's huge. Now, if I remember correctly, you work at Altered State.
Correct.
So is that something that like you wanted to do for a while, or is that like, I wanted to find a job like within my realm of fashion?
Well, I started in October, so I was still in school at the time. I've just enjoyed my time there. My girls I work with are phenomenal. So I'm not ready to leave yet. After, graduating like just a few months ago, I'm just kind of figuring out my path, taking my time, and that way I can take time off to like come volunteer for Kansas City Fashion Week, and like it's okay.
Yeah. That's amazing. Love that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know like as a college student, it can be kind of hard to like pay your own way for Fashion Week, especially if you want to go to multiple nights, because it can get kind of pricey if you want to go like for multiple days. So as a volunteer, like I think it's cool that you get to be a part of it and see all the looks on the runway, and also be like a fundamental part of the team and like getting that rewarding feeling of like, yeah, you helped make this happen.
Yes.
And you get to see, you know, all the amazing runway outfits and all of that.
Yeah, see it all come together.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So, with having multiple seasons underneath your belt, would you say that have a favorite designer that you've seen multiple
Ooh.
times?
Okay, I love Elsie's stuff.
I
Me
love her.
too.
Yes.
It's so cute. Like it gives me that like girly kind of like Ariana
Yes.
Grande
Mhm.
vibe. I was so excited to see her specifically this season because last season she was my favorite designer, and I got lucky and I got to sit in the front row to see her stuff. So
That
That
is
was
so
cool.
exciting.
Yeah.
We're huge Elsie fans. We're
Yes,
going to
we
be having
love
her.
She's on today. We're having her
Yeah.
later today.
oh
Mhm.
yay, she's gonna be fun to talk to.
The
Yeah,
fashion
I
blitz
love her.
continues.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time. This has been lovely talking to you. But the special thing Santos mentioned earlier.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yes, every guest we have on, since we're the Fashion Hive, we gotta hear your best bzzz sound.
Okay.
That's perfect.
There you go.
By the time this is all said and done, we're just
We're
gonna
gonna
be able to
compile
like
everyone.
All the B
Loop
sounds.
all the B sounds. That's awesome. Okay, Kelsey. So, I mean, seriously, thank you for all of your hard
Yes,
work this
thank you.
season, every season.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've been a huge supporter of the podcast from the original thought to all the way through it,
Yeah.
and we appreciate that as well because it's the supporters on the sideline, literally, who help us get to where we are. And as an ambassador as well. I mean, everything that you do, I've never heard you say no, and you know that's huge. You know, I mean. Being consistent, being dependable, and so that's seriously thank you.
Yeah.
Where can we connect with you?
Yes.
So all of my socials are just at Kelsey Chop. That's just KELSEY and then CHOP.
Perfect.
There you go.
Awesome.
Well, yes,
Any
well,
other
thank you so much for your
questions?
time.
Oh,
And
thank you. I don't think so.
Okay. I
She's
hope
good,
this
she's
is all
solid.
you wanted. I mean, you,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Was
I
this
had a
everything
great
you
time.
thought it would be?
Well, yesterday, Kelsey, was it yesterday or the day before? You were like, "I'll be on it." Like
I
came
know.
up-
She was like,
I
right
was
when we
like,
asked her, she was
okay,
like,
I'll
yeah,
do it.
when? I'll be there. I was
Right.
like, girl.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to all these episodes.
Yes. Well, it'll be
Yes.
slowly rolled out, so you know you'll have to
Yes.
wait a little bit for yours, but we'll definitely let you know when it's posted. So
Perfect.
We look
Awesome.
forward to hopefully having you on again in
Yes.
the future. And
maybe as a model next time. Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see where I'm at.
There you are.
All
Well, thank
righty.
you.
Well, thank you.
Of course.